Hello everyone, welcome to this week's Purple Penny video. My name's Mark. I own and run the Purple Penny along with my wife Catherine. We have a bricks and mortar coin shop in the northern suburbs of Adelaide, which is the capital of South Australia. We've been here for almost 4 years and we've been doing these videos for coming up to 3 years now. We try to hold them every Monday at about 12 o'clock Adelaide time, which is usually half an hour behind the eastern states. Thank you everyone for joining us today. There's quite a few people watching here already. I'll just say a few hellos to people before I give you a rundown of the week. Hello Cam, Paul, Brad, Pauline, Jason, Zowie, Greg, Mike, John, Patrick, Michelle. I should say thank you, Michelle, for passing on some news items to me this week. It's much appreciated when people take their time out of their day to forward on interesting tidbits to me, and I'm using one of those today, Michelle, so thank you. Hello John, that's another John there. Adam, Brett, Richie, Peter. Hello Peter, thanks for joining us today. Cameron, apologies if I've missed anyone. So we had a busy week this week. We had been quieter the last 4 or 5 weeks, which for us was a great thing because it allowed us to work through some inventory and get some things listed up on our website. But last week we were back to the usual hecticness that we'd had in December and January, which was good. It was good for us. Things didn't get out of control. Hopefully everyone who came in felt like they got listened to and got enough of our time when they were here. I will talk about some other items before we get on to the Vietnam silver coin. You probably are well aware of what's been going on with that, but we will talk about that last item for today. So let's just jump into the news here. There isn't going to be any Royal Australian Mint releases for May. We did get an email about that on Friday. Apparently it's due to lack of supply of various components. That usually means packaging. So no coins released by the Mint in May. We are still waiting on our supply of Antarctic coins, the Emperor Penguin and the Whale. The supply of those is still waiting on their coins from the Mint for the same sorts of reasons. Apparently the packaging isn't available. Those of you who have recorded their interest in those, we will be in touch with you as soon as we have any stock available. Now, Michelle, I've already passed on my thanks to you for this, but Michelle did highlight this bit of information to me this week, that the Royal Mint is, the Royal Mint being the Mint in England, is releasing coins for Charles's coronation. Charles is being coronated next month, and you can see there a crowned portrait of Charles on various coins. Now, if you've been in and around coin collecting for a little while, you'll probably recognise that crown that he's wearing. That's known as the King's Crown. You can see it there, Charles' coin on the left there, wearing the King's Crown, and then in the middle at the top there is a portrait by Percy Metcalfe of King Charles's grandfather, who is King George VI, and he is wearing the same crown there, and he is facing the same way, and the resemblance is truly undeniable. If you're a collector of pre-decimal coins, you would also recognise that crown because, of course, that appeared on the 1937 and 38 crown, the King's Crown there. So, wonderful portrait there that makes us think about coins issued in times gone by. Catherine and I had a bit of a conversation about it, and of course the 50p's that have been released into circulation in England are uncrowned portraits of the King. And if we think back to the portraits of Queen Elizabeth, she initially appeared on Australian coins without a crown from 1953 till 1966, and we just wonder if that isn't because that portrait was rushed into production before she was coronated. We wonder if the same thing will happen with Charles, that we'll see both the crowned and non-crowned portraits of the kings on coins. Now, of course, none of this has any impact on Australian coins. We are still waiting for the Royal Australian Mint, as opposed to the Royal Mint, to announce what they're doing with their coins here. So, right, we'll just jump back to the camera here because someone's asked a question Glenn says, who won the purple penny? Who won the purple penny lucky dip for the Vietnam coins? We did pick out a group of people last week, Glenn, and have contacted all of them, and I believe just one of those coins is still here in the shop waiting for payment to come through. Thank you everyone who took part in that and was live in the video on Facebook. Apologies to those who commented on YouTube later thinking that they were in the running. It was only available to people who were watching live on Facebook. I believe we had about 80 different people who commented on the Facebook video live, so thank you to everyone who took part last week. George VI only appeared bareheaded. Now that's on Australian coins, Mike, but he did appear crowned on some Commonwealth coins, so it'll be interesting to see what actually happens with the Australian coins, whether we get that crown portrait. I for one would like the crown portrait. I think it looks good. I think it harks back to coins of times past, seeing that crown, the king's crown, and I would like to see that portrait on our coins. Now, you do know I like my ancient coins, and I found this really interesting that the Doncaster City Council in the UK has actually just purchased, along with a charitable society and a museum, a hoard of 1,000+ Roman coins that were dug up in a field near the city of Doncaster, which I believe is in Yorkshire. More than 1,000 Roman coins. Those Roman coins dated from 32 BC up until about 300 AD and included coins from 18 different Roman emperors. They were buried in a field that was effectively in the middle of nowhere. There were no ruins of villas or anything like that nearby. The nearest town is almost 20 miles away, and 1,000 silver coins in 300 AD is a veritable fortune, and the archaeologists who have studied the hoard have no idea why it would be buried there in the middle of nowhere. I think it's wonderful that a city council is willing to purchase a hoard like this and pop it into what is effectively a small local museum. And I, for one, would love to go and have a look at the coins and have a look at the different portraits and emperors and things like that. The earliest, they include emperors such as Nero, Hadrian, who of course commissioned the wall, and several of their wives, as Paul has pointed out quite rightly there. It's a picture of Julia Domna, who is the wife of Septimius Severus. Thank you, Paul, for sharing that information with us. I would love to be able to dig up a 2,000-year-old coin hoard in my backyard. It doesn't happen very often, but I think that would be amazing. Now, on the same topic, if you're wondering if it's a free-for-all on digging up coins in the UK, the answer is no. They have very strong treasure rules there, and the treasure rules apply to anything that's dug up that is gold or silver. I believe it's silver coins if there's 3 or more, and they're more than 400 years old or 600 years old. I'm not exactly sure what the year is. Or if there's anything gold that is dug up, then it is what is called treasure. It is the possession of the government, and when it is disposed of, the proceeds are split between the landowner and the person who found those items, and that's primarily not as a fundraising exercise. It's to prevent the removal of history from the UK. If you watched these videos a couple of weeks ago, you would have heard me talk about the Eidmar gold coin that was looted from a field in Greece, and the person who's been charged with the theft of that. Anyway, there were 44 Anglo-Saxon coins dug up in a hoard sometime in the mid-2010s, and there's been 2 gentlemen shopping those around in the UK. They approached a well-known collector of such coins in the US, and he recognised that some of the coins in the hoard were extremely rare, and it seems as though he has contacted the UK police and told them what is going on, and some UK police posing as coin buyers, acting on behalf of this US collector, have met with the 2 gentlemen in a pub where they have attempted to sell these undercover police £750,000 worth of coins for about £200,000. and of course the police arrested them and seized the coins. Now interestingly, the two men are not the people who found the coins. I can't find any information about what's going on there, but you do wonder if the person who found the coins has sold it to them. So this is illegal in the UK. Coins that you find that meet certain criteria have to be handed over to the government, and then once they are deemed to be treasure by a British coroner, then the proceeds are split between the finder and the landowner when they are disposed of. If you're wondering, these coins date back to about the era of King Alfred the Great, and if you watch a Netflix series called The Last Kingdom, then you would know exactly who that was, King Alfred the Great. Now, another bit of amusement in the news this week was a truck in Philadelphia, I believe, that contained 750,000 US dollars in dimes, dimes being US 10-cent pieces. It was broken into, and the thieves have stolen $100,000 worth of dimes. Now each dime weighs 2.3 grams. There's 10 dimes to the dollar, so you're looking at 2.3 tons, 2,300 kilos of dimes that they've made off with. Now I don't know A, how they managed to do that, or B, what they think they're going to do with them, but quite a remarkable robbery there. And if I was running a gold bullion business in the US and someone showed up with $100,000 in dimes to try and buy gold, I would be giving that a big solid no. But quite a remarkable robbery, and you just wonder how you had time to steal 2.3 tons of dimes. It's quite remarkable. If you are interested in this story, there's a great video on the Sky News, sky.com website, where they've got a flyover of this, where you can see the dimes scattered all over the road. I've just got a little screen cap there. Now, topic of the day, there really isn't a topic of the day today. It's really just having a look at this silver coin that you all know about. So a week ago last Thursday, of course, was the release of the $2 coin that remembered 50 years since the end of Australia's involvement in the Vietnam War. The coin was released in two forms, both C mint marked, both colourised. One was an aluminium bronze coin, 80,000 of those minted, release price of $15. There was 5,000 silver coins released, release price of those $80. Now, at the beginning of last week, those silver coins were selling for about $400. By the middle of the week, they were selling for about $600. By the end of the week, they were selling for about $1,000. As of right now, when I checked on my computer a little while ago, there was an auction about to finish for one of these coins that was up to $1,650. So we are talking a very significant price rise in less than 2 weeks, and it has led to what can only be called a meltdown in the collecting community. And I will just lay a lot of that blame on a new group of resellers that have appeared. They're not collectors, they are heavily involved in the sneaker reselling business. So what is going on here at the moment with people grabbing huge numbers of these coins using software or bots or whatever you want to call it, is something that's been going on in the collectible sneaker market for quite a while. They have sniffed $1 and appeared in the coin collecting game, secured, perhaps a few or a few dozen of these coins, and they are selling them at a significant markup. Now, the tactics that they've used is to select these either using software, as I said. We've heard a story about people lined up outside the mint that was 60th in line, for example, and then 10 minutes before the mint has opened, everyone in front of them, numerous people have shown up, friends, families, pet dogs, neighbours, who knows what else, saying that so-and-so has saved a spot for me in line. So there's organised line stacking going on at the mint. There's organised queue jumping going on via their online website. I suspect that there's people that have arrangements with RAM wholesalers that are grabbing these things as well. I will just say that the mint made very few of these available to their reseller network. So if there's big numbers of them out there, they probably aren't coming from the reseller network, because the percentage that they gave the resellers was very small. And now we're getting this process where people are making sales for $300 last Monday on eBay, realizing a couple of days later they could have sold it for $600, and they're cancelling orders, selling them for $600 on Wednesday, and realizing on Friday they could have sold them for $1,000 and cancelling orders, and so on and so forth. So we've got sellers here that aren't honouring sales and just jacking the price up one after another after another. Now, I will also say that there are RAM dealers that are selling them at above release price, perhaps not via their websites, but certainly on eBay we've seen. We saw one dealer in New South Wales selling hundreds of the C Mint Mark coins above release price on their website. So, unfortunately, some of the RAM resellers are behind some of this stuff. But what really got my goat, and this was something that we popped up onto Facebook last week, was one eBay seller who is selling a photocopy of a picture of the silver coin for $1,000, and it only mentions that it's a photocopy of the silver coin at the end of the listing. Now, you would wonder how anyone could fall for that, but of course people are. So we'll just pop this up here if I can get it going. There's the listings there. So up the top there is a listing that Gary, thank you Gary, supplied us last week, of someone who's selling a photocopy of the coin for $1,000, and then at the bottom right there is a copycat who's doing exactly the same thing, but he has them listed for about $950, and he sold several of those this morning. And it is becoming especially dangerous now because the $950 is well below whatever the current market value is, and we have people who, whether it be out of desperation or greed, are buying those things up, and they are going to lose their money. They are going to lose their money. Now, I think it's probably come time where things have come to a head, and if you're collecting and you're chasing these things for this sort of money for a collection, then you are doing yourself a disservice. Go and collect something else. $1,500 gets you a beautiful Athenian tetradrachm from 400 BC. Okay, these $2 coins, I'm not going to say that they're rubbish, but they are just modern mint product. There will always be lots of them for sale. There is no difference between one or another. You would have to have very strong motivations to say that my collection absolutely needs one of these at $1,500. So please, don't buy them at $1,500. You are just adding to the problem. You are just adding to the problem if you are spending $1,500 on these coins. So don't do it. Okay, do not do it. Do not buy them at $1,500. You are making the problem worse. There's no point sitting there complaining about resellers making money out of these things and then you buying them at massively inflated margins. You are part of the problem. Don't buy them anymore. Now, Peter Andrews has made a good point here. He said that apparently selling pieces of paper is a way of getting rid of bots. Now, Peter, it may well be. I will just explain how this works. There was a sneaker company in Europe that had a limited number of, I don't know what brand sneakers they were, available for sale, and rather than making the sneakers available for sale on their website, they made photocopies of the sneakers available for sale on the website and then sold all of the shoes through their physical store. And the whole aim of that was to fool the bots, so this software that just buys things as quickly as possible. It was really just to stuff them up. And I've known for quite a while now that is one way that sneaker sellers are getting around the bots, is by just selling them through physical stores. Now, I don't think that's what this is happening. This is what's happening on eBay. I think this is just naked profiteering and preying on people's desperation to either get this coin or to get one at a low price and then on sell it for profit. yeah, no sympathy for people that are paying thousands of dollars for these coins and getting caught by these photocopies, but please do be careful. And I will just say one other thing. If you are buying these coins specifically to resell them, then you are liable to pay tax. If you are buying things to make a profit, then you are liable to pay tax. And it doesn't matter what your turnover is, it doesn't matter, you know, what your job is or whatever it is, you are liable to pay tax on those items if you are doing it purely to make a profit. Now, I'm kind of holding back here to really say what I think about people that are selling things at these prices and paying for them at these prices, but please, I can't warn you anymore. Don't buy them. Don't buy them. You are part of the problem if you're buying them. You don't need them for your collection because in 20 years' time, you'll be able to pick them up for almost nothing. So please don't pay these prices. Right, that's enough. I don't want to talk about that anymore. I will address some questions though. Let's have a look at some comments here. Now, I will just apologise because Facebook cuts off the comments, so I can't see them back. Right, so Steve says the Mint needs to do a ticket system for those who in line to beat the queue jumpers. That is absolutely right, Steve. That is what Catherine and I came up with. We do the same thing out the front of our shop here. We had a number of tickets to hand out equal to the amount of stock that we sell. Once the tickets are gone, they're gone. And it doesn't matter if you come in and jump in line later, or your dog and your neighbour and your workmates come and jump in line with you. No ticket, no coin. Pretty easy solution there for the Mint. I guess there is an OH&S issue around that because with the Poppy release last year, we did have one gentleman become very aggressive with me. And if the Mint does implement a ticket system, then they'll want to make sure that they do protect their staff that are handing out those tickets, because there's no doubt that when there's money involved, people get very emotional, and we don't want a Mint employee to be assaulted over a coin. Let's have a look here. So Michelle Schaller is saying that it happened to her. A sale was not honoured, but the distributor didn't honour the original sale. Look, Michelle, it's happened to everyone. If they think they can make an extra few $100s, they'll cancel it. Sandy says eBay need to make their reporting system easier. Sandy, they will never do that. They don't want to deal with problems. They make all this stuff as hard and as obfuscated as possible. And they'll never make that easy. It's never been easy, and they've had years to make it easier. Now, there was people who brought their 3-month-old to get a coin at the Mint, but they wouldn't allow it. That doesn't surprise me. Thank you for your comment there, Brendan. Adam's saying they only have $10 worth of silver in them. And sorry, I'm not quite sure how to say your name. I think it's Mirjana. Mirjana comes in here reasonably often. She says she'd rather have a gold sovereign any day. Me too. Me too, absolutely. Glenn says, great comments. It doesn't give much chance for peeps that appreciate coins just for the love of it. I still have coins I collected 60 years ago. Well, Glenn, I think that's a great attitude, and as I said, you know, if you're getting jacked of the whole $2 thing, collect something else. There's plenty of other series to collect. There's a lot of dollar coins if you just want mint product and you can't be fussed with learning how to grade and things like that. There's a lot of dollar coins that have very low mintages that can be bought for a fraction of the price of a $2 coin. So there's interesting series there. Sandy says you don't need them that badly. That's absolutely right. And I think that's about it. If the Mint only sold these coins by pre-order, the fear of missing out would disappear. The mintages may not be so low. The Mint does need to respect its main collecting clients. It's an interesting point. Thanks, Jen, for that. You might remember the 2022 Poppy, they resorted to a ballot, the Mint, which was fine, except that people just modified their bot software to sign up for thousands of different Mint accounts. Now, the obvious answer to that is only allow people to enter a ballot who have an established purchase history with the Mint. But of course, that leaves out the new collectors that are interested in collecting new coins. So there's no perfect solution to this. But I certainly feel like the ballot for the silver coin would have been a lot better. And for the Mint to simply have said in advance, or perhaps not in advance on release day, that the silver coins are only available via ballot to people who had an established Mint account with a purchase history that was there on the 1st of April, and we wouldn't have had nearly the amount of problems as what we have had now. Rand says sneaker as in shoes. Yes, that's right. Sorry, Rand, you mustn't be from Australia, I think. Yeah, because, well, if you are from Australia, then I do apologise. Sneakers, shoes, yes, sneakers, sand shoes, whatever you want to call them. Right, I think that'll do for today. I'm just seeing if we've got anything else to go here. How is the stamp market, Mark? I've been collecting stamps for decades. It's terrible. St. Antonius, it's absolutely terrible. Stamp collecting, unfortunately, is a hobby that has been on decline for many years, and the market, the collector base is quite small, and certainly you don't see the carry on in that market that you do in the coin market at the moment. Mike says there's too many coins being released now. So Peter is saying the US Mint is doing this with the 2023 Morgans and Peace dollars after the problems they had in 2021. Doing what, Peter? If you can just elaborate on that. No, Rand, it's not code sneaker. Sorry, I'm just showing my age there by calling shoes sneakers, or running shoes, or whatever you want to call them, just when sneakers were for actually playing sport in rather than collecting. Right, I think that'll do for today. I do apologise for talking so long about the silver $2 coin, and if I've offended anyone, I do apologise for that, but Catherine and I are quite dismayed at what's going on. Quite dismayed. I don't know how else to put it. We don't feel like it's a good thing for the hobby, and if you are interested in collecting other things, come in here and have a chat to us, because there's a lot of other things in here other than $2 coins, and Catherine and I know a lot of things other than $2 coins, and we can probably find something that will interest you, even if you don't want to buy anything, even if you just want to learn something, then we're quite happy to talk to people about those sorts of things. Right, thank you everyone. Thank you for, I think we hit over 70 viewers today, which is quite good. Thank you everyone for taking part. Thank you for all the comments. Thank you for the feedback this week that I've been getting from everyone. Thank you, Michelle and Gary, for sharing news stories with me. If you do see anything interesting in the media this week about coins, please do let me know, and I'll talk about it. It's much appreciated. I hope everyone has as good a week this week as we're expecting to have, and we'll see you next time. Bye for now.